During the process of making and subsequently abandoning a video about Minecraft crashes, I came across what has quickly become my favorite version of Minecraft, exclusively due to how much stuff just doesn't work properly. It is Minecraft Snapshot 24W36A. Now, if you've watched some of my other Minecraft content, you may recognize that version number from this video, specifically the outro, where I mentioned it as the version I used to get the crash for the redstone segment. As a quick recap, if 3 or more entities fire projectiles at the same target at the same time, which we can easily create with this setup, then, as you see, the game crashes. But one crash does not a great version make. Ooh, never mind, too pretentious. I should probably tone it down a bit for the rest of the video. Anyway, point is, there's a lot more to this snapshot than just that one crash. So let's get into it. First, oats. Oats, they just don't drop. You place it down, you break it, it's gone. But of course, you still want to pick up your boat to move it, right? So, how about we crash into a cactus? We'll have to be careful so that when the boat drops, it doesn't get destroyed by the cactus. We just ride it in there and nope. Crashes the game. Okay, so neither of those works. You still want to pick up your boat, but we know we can't do this. The boat just disappears, and that is just a disaster waiting to happen. So, what we're going to do is go into creative. Now, of course, I'm already in creative. I could just spawn in a boat, but that's cheating. So, we know that the boat disappears when you break it, so we're just going to pick block on it, and then we're going to switch back to survival and break the boat. So, pick block, nope. Nope, that crashes the game as well. Okay, so breaking your boat in survival, you're probably going to run into that if you're ever using a boat. Crashing your boat into a cactus, or any hazard really, it's any boat being destroyed by a hazard. You might run into that into a survival playthrough. Pick blocking it in creative, you're probably not going to run into, but you might use it as a last-ditch effort if you don't want to actually just spawn one in. But our final boat crash that you shouldn't be running into in your normal playthrough. If you summon a boat as the passenger of a moving projectile, such as with this command to summon a trident that is moving with a passenger of boat, I'll give you one guess. The game crashes. Now, we're done with boats, but that doesn't mean we're done with the snapshot. I've still got 4.5 things to show off before one final bug that honestly might be my favorite thing that I've ever encountered in Minecraft. Here's one that probably matters more to other people than it does to me. Shields. I never use them. I always have a torch in my offhand. And this patch is perfect for me because, let's just get this skeleton to aggro to me real fast. Shields don't do anything. They don't do anything when you're holding them in your main hand. And when you swap them to the offhand, well, I wasn't blocking that one, but they don't do anything. Shields are useless. Offhanded torch supremacy. And here's one that you're less likely to come across in a real playthrough than the shields, but still possible. Say you've got a pig, and you're riding the pig with your fancy little saddle. Well, an interesting thing about this version is that if you are riding in a mob, and it transforms, our example being a pig that, say, gets struck by lightning, you get teleported to 0-0. Now, I've already dug out this hole, because I've done this before, but you would not. If 0-0, 0-1-0, I believe. Correct. 0-1-0 does not have a hole there, pre-dug by me, then you will be suffocating. I guess you could also pre-dig the hole. It doesn't have to be me. But when you save the world, quit out, and load back in, you're riding the pigman, as expected, back where it got struck by lightning. It's like a makeshift, extremely unreliable Ender Pearl stasis chamber. Here's one you'll probably never come across in real, normal gameplay, but when you open your creative inventory, have items in your hotbar, are opened to any inventory that is not the survival inventory, and drop them from your hotbar, you drop 2 at a time. Not a huge problem, but when you hold down the button to drop them very quickly, a lot of them just disappear. Once again, you're never going to encounter this in your normal playthrough, and let's be honest, even if you did somehow manage to come across this because you were in creative mode for some reason, it doesn't matter. You're in creative mode, you can just get the blocks back. Now this next one comes with an extra half a bug, hence there being 4.5 things before our final one. Full part of this bug and a half involves chainmail armor. As you can see, in my inventory, it appears perfectly normal. It's chainmail helmet, chestplate, leggings, boots. But when equipped to an armor stand, the textures are missing. You just turn into pink and black blobs. Obviously not intended. And this behavior happens on the character as well. When equipped to the character, there are no textures, which makes sense. It just means that the 3D model textures are missing. The second half, in case you couldn't guess by now, involves netherite. Netherite armor also looks perfectly fine in the inventory, but when equipped to an armor stand, looks like diamond armor instead. And you guessed it, when equipped to the player, also looks like diamond armor. Now we've arrived at our final, and my favorite, let's call it a feature of this snapshot, and it involves ender pearls. Before that though, if you've been enjoying the video, give it a like. Maybe subscribe? What's the worst that could happen? You get another 2 AM video about the Warframe dating sim? Unlikely. Anyway, ender pearls. In normal Minecraft, ender pearls are a consumable item that stacks up to 16 and can be thrown by right-clicking with one selected in the hotbar. It will teleport you once it lands, damaging the player for 2.5 hearts of fall damage. After throwing an ender pearl, there will be a short cooldown period during which you cannot throw another ender pearl under normal gameplay conditions. In 24W36A, ender pearls are a consumable item that stacks up to 16 and can be thrown by right-clicking with one selected in the hotbar. They will teleport you once they land, damaging the players for 2.5 hearts of fall damage. After throwing an ender pearl, there is a short cooldown period during which you cannot throw another ender pearl under normal gameplay conditions. But wait, you might say, aren't those the same thing? Well, yes, technically, but I specifically left out the difference between the two to make a bad joke and for a little bit of intrigue. So what is the difference? Well, you may have noticed something wrong with the footage from the snapshot. Typically, when an ender pearl lands, it teleports the player to the location the pearl lands at. However, in 24W36A, the ender pearl instead adds the coordinates of where it lands to the player's coordinates, typically teleporting you high in the air and far away, as it effectively doubles the player's coordinates, again, under normal gameplay conditions. There are some things we can do with this behavior to achieve some fun results. First, it is very easy to reach the world border. It'll actually only take about 1.5 stacks of ender pearls to get there from about 0-0, technically 1-1, as 0-0 throwing an ender pearl straight down would just put you up in the air. This would also put you approximately 1 chunk outside the world border, as there is a small area outside of the border where you can move, but you cannot break any blocks, you cannot place any blocks, and typically you can't even throw your ender pearls anymore. Here we are. We've arrived at the world border. You tend to fall into the void for a couple thousand blocks. Sometimes it's only a couple hundred. Sometimes it gets up to over 1,000. Sometimes even more. While the world tries to load in, because when you're getting here, you are traveling typically 10 to 15 million blocks in one single teleport, so it takes a while for the game to load in. As you can see, I'm already down to negative 2,000. 2,500. Believe me, it will load in eventually. I'm sure. It's loaded in every other time that I've tried it. There we go. As you can also see, sometimes ender pearls get stuck and just spawn just so many particles. One thing that's fun, yeah, as you can see, the ender pearl goes on cooldown, but it does not allow you to actually throw them. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I honestly don't know what causes it to do so. While this is fun and all, quick travel almost anywhere that can be made quite precise if you know your exact coordinates. The real fun for me involves delving into caves. Since the pearl effectively doubles your coordinates, going into negative y values can allow you to teleport into the ground. And, if you are low enough, even into the void. Now, the great thing about this is that you are positioned properly, and I did find this location before. You have to be positioned almost exactly perfectly. You can throw your blocks or throw your ender pearls away, grab some blocks here, and you can die. I went a little bit too low. Turns out I didn't find exactly the right spot. Wouldn't have mattered. You can't place blocks there. I thought you could. Nope. I thought you could like place blocks down here. You could have like a cool void base that you can only get to with specific ender pearls. Didn't really have an idea of how I was going to get out of there. You know, I guess if you place your stasis chamber high enough, you could use that to get out. But nope. No, you just die. Can't even build down there with commands. I mean, you know, it wasn't going to work anyway. Like, it wasn't going to be plausible or feasible in a normal survival world. But even with commands, nothing you can do down there. And that's it. My favorite Minecraft version. For now, at least. Had you asked me a few months ago, I wouldn't have even had an answer, so it may change again as I discover more fun snapshots. Also, in case it wasn't very obvious, I wrote that last part before finding out you can't build in the void, even with commands. I had to rewrite the second half, to my own disappointment, but them's the breaks. My 80 years old? Them's the breaks? Who says that anymore? Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to do all that YouTube stuff, you know? Like, subscribe, tell me your favorite moth, all the things you normally do on a YouTube video. Also, come follow me on Twitch. I stream almost every day, and recently it has been mostly Minecraft. Though, if you enjoy fishing games, or more specifically, fishing in games where it's not the main focus, I've got something planned that I think you'll like. Just need to offload all my shares of the Brooklyn Bridge first. That's my first time doing that. I honestly have no clue where I ended up. I didn't actually end up too far away. I guess I was doing that close to spawn. A couple thousand blocks in the air, though. That makes sense. Anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.